In this video, I'm going to talk about two sections, 6.5, which is graphing linear inequalities, and then 6.6, which is graphing a system of linear inequalities. It's actually nearly identical to section 6.1, which is graphing linear equations with 2 or 3 extra pieces, which are simple, memorizable, quick pieces. Alright, so the goal here is to show the solution of a linear inequality on a coordinate grid. So you'll be given a linear inequality. In this case, we have x minus 2y is greater than negative 4. Step 1, put the inequality in slope-intercept form. Same as step 1 from section 6.1, which means solve for y. Okay, so we're going to do that here. So I'll need to get this y by itself. First thing I need to do is subtract x, so I can move that. Oops. Sorry, let's go back here. Alright, let me rewrite that. So it's x minus 2y is greater than negative 4. Okay. So the first thing is we're going to subtract x. And then we have negative 2y is greater than negative x minus 4. Now here is one of the main differences between solving an equation and solving an inequality for y. Is here to isolate the y we need to divide by negative 2. So we're going to divide everything by negative 2. When that happens, we get that y by itself, which was our goal. Anytime you divide or multiply both sides of an inequality by a negative number, it actually switches the direction of the sign. So there's our first difference. So we divided by a negative number, so we're going to change the direction of the sign. Okay, so now we have a negative divided by a negative, so it's positive x over 2. And then again, negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2, which looks like a plus 2. X over 2, if you're not familiar with that, is the same thing as writing 1/2 x. And since we need that for the slope, we'll just go ahead and write it like that. Alright, so now we need to identify the y-intercept and the slope. So the y-intercept is here in the B area. So b equals 2. And slope is the m, so that's in the m area here, which is 1/2. Okay, I'm going to copy those, bring them over to the next page. So now we're going to graph. So I have the important piece of information here. So b is 2, so I'm going to make a blue dot at 2. Then the slope is 1/2, which means 1 up, 2 right. So 1 up, 2 right, 1 up, 2 right, 1 up, 2 right, always sloping from the y-intercept. We could also go down 1, 2 left, down 1, 2 left, down 1, 2 left. Alright, so now we just need to connect the dots here. Okay, so, oops. There we go. Alright, so connecting the dots, we have a line that goes like that. And let me extend it out here. There we go. Alright, so we're done with step 3. We've graphed it. Now step 4 is we have to decide whether it's going to be a solid or dotted line. So let me move that down. So a solid or dotted line means if the inequality looks like this, this, or this, it will be a dashed or dotted line. If the inequality looks like this, this, or it's actually an equation, then it would be a solid line. All right, so now with this being a, no, it's not actually written down. Let's go back. So it's a greater than, so it's one of these. So we need to go back and make this a dotted line. There we go. So now it's dotted. Step 5 is shading. So we have to know whether we shade up or shade down. And so if it looks like this, so y is less than, we're going to shade below. And if it's y is greater than, we shade above. And again, I forgot, so I'm going to go back. So it was y is less than. Remember, you got to look at the final thing when it's solved for y. So it's less than. So we need to shade below. So it looks like so. And that's it. So it's essentially the exact same thing as video 6.1, with the only difference being the possibility of having to change the direction of the sign when you're solving, which happened here, followed by figuring out whether it's solid or dotted, and then figuring out if the shading goes below or above. All right. So I have one more example to do, just to show you how to do it with two inequalities. It's exactly the same thing. We're just doing two of them on the same graph. So step 1 has been done for us here. It's already solved for y. So we need to find the b and the m of the blue equation. So we start at -1, slope up to right 1, up to right 1, or down to left 1. Now we need to make our line. It's going to be solid because it's or equal to. So let's see, so somewhere like this. That looks good. The shading for this one is going to be below. So it will be like everything here. Now we can move on to the green equation, and the intercept is 3. The slope is, there's no number there, so we know it's a 1, so -1. So it's going to start at 3, and then we go down right, down right, down right, or up left, up left, up left. And it's going to be a solid line. So here we go, solid line. And it's going to go all the way up to here. So let's do that. Okay, and for the shading, it's going to be above because it's greater than. And we are done. The answer is just the intersection of the shaded region, which is this area here. You don't have to circle it or do anything. You just have to, it has to be clear that you're, that is the intersection. If you're just using a pencil, which I don't recommend, but if you are, I recommend cross-hashing like this. So here would be, the shading for one of the things and have the shading for the other at a right angle so you can see where it crosses. Alright, so that's it for section 6.5 and 6.6.